Welcome, foolish mortals, to Noah Parker's World of Wonder. Today is our Halloween special, and I am joined by a good friend of mine, Kim.
Hello!
And she is by far the biggest Nightmare Before Christmas fan that I know, if not in the entire world.
That's me.
We have these neat little things over here that we'll talk about later. I have that sort of on here, but yeah, so Kim has... So as you guys have heard in the last couple podcasts, I manage Dairy Queen. Kim actually co-manages that same Dairy Queen with me, and I've known her for almost 10 years
time
now, probably, because, well, maybe not, maybe 9 years, we'll say, because we probably didn't meet each other when we both started, but around 9 years, and she's always been a huge fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. Every time we go to Disney World and we bring something back for Kim, it's always Nightmare related, and so, like, again, later on, I'm 99% sure that, like, I get scared to buy her things when I go because I'm like, you probably already have this thing or something very similar to it. But
I like them.
Yeah. But,
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's definitely obsessed. I don't remember what we talked about. For those of you guys, I'm going to share this because I like to share my flubs. We started this and I realized that I forgot to record the audio, and that's the most important part of the podcast. So there's some things in there that I forgot, but we're just going to move on. So
No, it's fine.
But I will say that I said it to you already, is that I did watch Nightmare all the way through for the first time last night.
Which is ridiculous.
I know.
Like, anybody who knows me, you better know the movie.
Yeah.
And here Noah is.
I know, but that's why we're here, because it's been a movie that I'm like, it exists and it's okay, but I want to gain your your obsession with it a little bit. Yeah, so Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. Tell me about what started your fascination with it. How'd you get into it?
I've always liked Halloween. So, naturally I go towards the Halloween scary movies and stuff. And when that one was around, I liked it. It's different. It's, the animation's different. Growing up, you never saw claymation stuff. So It was different. And, it was the darker side, but it was still a kid's movie. And so whenever you babysat, it was, let's watch this scary movie. And then they fell in love with it, and the parents questioned your, life choices because it was creepy, but it's fun. And yeah, then you can watch it Christmas and Halloween.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Right? That's awesome. That was something, watching it again last night. I mean, it's something that I've thought about a lot when, like, just knowing that it exists, only remembering parts of it, is that, like, Tim Burton with that movie did something that, I don't know, Coraline exists and there's other claymations out there, but
way later.
The scale that Nightmare Before Christmas was on, if it wasn't the first, like, it had to have been very early on. It was definitely groundbreaking when he did it. And that was part of what drew me to it in the first place. Like, a little, like, again, like, I have not watched a whole lot of it, and it's probably because of the fact that it was creepy, and I was like, it's a little too much for me, because Kim is very much into the, like, horror, scary stuff. I avoid it. But yeah, so, like, he did some amazing stuff. Like, Tim Burton's a wonderful director, and I liked what he did with Nightmare. So,
but on this one, he kind of was the backseat person.
Oh, really?
He made the story.
Okay.
And everybody else did the work.
Okay.
He was busy working on other projects.
Gotcha.
So his name's on it, but he really didn't do anything.
Okay. The more you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of specials out now, though, that you can watch on, like, the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And you find out just simple things of, like, because it is claymation. Like, a 30-second part of the movie took them, like, weeks to do.
Right.
Because it's so much movement, and they had, I think it's like 25 or 30 different jackheads just for his emotions. And
I guess that makes sense. Because you'd have to have a different one for every little movement his mouth makes.
Exactly. And they talk about how, like, because his big black eyes are hollow, that was too creepy for kids. And there was a debate. You can see drawings of him with, like, big people, little ones, and he looks weird. He's a skeleton.
Spooky.
He's got no eyes.
Right. Exactly. That's awesome. Cool. So, my next question for you is there a specific part of the movie that you like the best?
It still has to be the intro, when you're getting introduced to all the characters and they're singing their songs, and because that's your jump into their whole world. and seen Halloween Town.
Right on. I'm here for it. That was another random thing that, like, I was watching it because I just told you this yesterday too. I just watched Halloween Town for the first time the night before last. Because like I'm not super like I like Halloween. Like it's a fun holiday, but it's never been like it's time to sit down and watch spooky stuff. It's been like I don't know. We don't usually watch a whole lot of Halloween movies, but this year I'm like, well, I kind of want to sift through some things, and I'm gonna do another podcast next year. So like, what do I do the podcast next year on? I got to watch some of these movies and kind of decide if I want to do movies every Halloween or. But that was another thing, like, because Nightmare Before Christmas came after that movie came out, right?
Halloween Town?
Yeah, or was Nightmare Before Christmas before? I think
Nightmare was before.
Okay. I just thought it was funny that they were both called Halloween Town. And I was like, it's very, very different things.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a random side note, but all right. This is a question that Adriana pitched. And I was like, that's a great question. Let's throw it in there. If you could be one character in the movie, who would it be and why?
I've never questioned this one before. That one's hard.
Yeah.
Like,
I got thrown one of those with
automatically my first thought wants to be Oogie Boogie because he's my favorite character.
Right.
But then I'd have no friends and I have to eat bugs and trash all day, so that's not cool.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe Zero. Because he's there. He's not really bothered.
Totally
he gets to be the hero in the movie, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good choice.
Just eat candy canes all day.
Good. Yeah. I think I'd like to be the mayor.
He's always stressed. He's too stressed.
Maybe it's because I feel like I am the mayor sometimes, but I think what's funny though, like one of the lines that I thought was so funny was like when Jack is out all night, like pondering his life basically, and the mayor goes to start planning for next Halloween. And he basically is like, I can't make decisions on my own. I'm like
any
why
politician.
are you the mayor, bro? Like, and that was another thing. I don't know if this is related or maybe I'll just throw it out. But like, I thought it was interesting that Jack is the king. He's the Pumpkin King, but like, there's a mayor, and it's like, why would the Pumpkin King not just be the mayor of Halloween Town?
Right? Probably because he doesn't want to do all the planning.
Probably,
he's
but
like,
he ends up doing it anyway.
Love me.
He does it anyway because the mayor can't make decisions for himself.
Yeah, but he sets up the most blood drained in a night and all those competitions.
Yeah, that's true. He does give out all of the awards and everything.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song in the movie? Because like when I was watching last night, I was like, there's a lot of really well put together songs.
They are really good.
Yeah.
I think, This Is Halloween.
That makes sense.
Yep.
I think probably that What's This would be my top pick. But a close second is Kidnap Sandy Claus, I think that's the name of the song.
Yep.
But
yep.
they're
all good.
I like the music for that one more so than the lyrics themselves, but I like I don't know how to explain exactly. It's like the melody is really cool.
Well, have you listened to the Nightmare Revisited CD?
I have not.
It's all rock bands and punk bands that redo it all. So it's like Marilyn Manson and Go-Go Bordello and Korn.
Oh,
pretty good.
I'm here for it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be listening to that.
I'll hook you up. I have it too.
Okay, let's go. Awesome. Next question is there a piece of merch you really wanted but you were unable to obtain?
I mean, some of them are really hella expensive.
Right.
I think it would be really cool to have just the originals because you can buy those from the movie.
Okay.
Still, they're like falling apart, and I'd be nervous about it.
Yeah.
But as far as stuff to get at like the Disney store, there's so many cool things.
Yeah.
I've been working on the collection of they make nutcrackers of a lot of the characters.
Okay.
And I still need to get my hands on the Oogie Boogie one.
Well, yeah.
He's got a Santa beard, and he's like, I think he's holding a present and a candy cane.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. We'll have to look for it now. I would have thought that would be like the first one, but that you would get. But
there's a lot of Jacks.
I bet.
And Sally's.
Yeah, I bet those are so easy to come by. Like anything Jack and Sally is probably pretty.
It's hit and miss. More and like it used to be really easy, you know, if Walgreens got it or Disney got it, but now people are like on this nightmare train and everything's really hard to get. You have to literally be there first. Like this year they teamed up with Starbucks. You could get a Starbucks cup. That was a Nightmare Before Christmas and glowed in the dark.
Oh.
It sold out in less than 1 hour.
Oh.
And now you can buy one that people bought, but it's like $200 if you want it.
Because now they're scalping.
Yeah.
Scalpers. Cool.
For
Well,
cup.
let's take a pause really quick so you can tell our YouTube audience, I guess, and maybe explain a little bit verbally too what these things on the table are, because you kind of told me a little bit what they are. But
all right. So obviously, like I said, I have a huge collection.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring something that meant something to me from this collection. So I brought a set of nesting doll cups that I got. It was the start of my collection. A lady I nannied for actually gave it to me for Christmas one year.
Nice.
But so there's a Jack, a Sally, an Oogie, and a little Zero.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And I've never seen them. I don't know anybody that has them. I'm on a bunch of collector sites and nobody has them either.
So you got like a rare piece here.
I did.
That's
and
awesome.
then, now that you're older, you're like, why didn't I keep them in the package?
Right. I've done that so much with collectibles. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, I pop them open because I'm a child and I want to play with whatever it was.
Yep. I have some stuff that they're good. They're in their box still. And then others I'm like, nah, I'm opening this one.
Yeah.
It's for me to enjoy.
There you go. Right on. Well, I just wanted to throw that in quickly. And then I guess, because this is part of what didn't get recorded when I screwed up earlier. So you can talk a little bit about your rooms again, because I want to post that video on TikTok.
So I kind of have a problem with nightmare stuff. I started collecting years ago, and then it became one of those things where, if you didn't know what to get me for Christmas or birthday or whatever, you got me nightmare stuff. So I've always had a lot. And when we moved into our house, everything got its own bedroom. It's filled with like bookshelves. The walls are completely covered by posters and artwork, and I'm running out of space. It's all over the floor now because I have nowhere to put it. I have a nightmare bed in there, but you can't tell it's got nightmare stuff on it because it's completely covered by nightmare stuffed animals. The spare bathroom upstairs is all nightmare, so it's slowly taking over.
Yeah. Nice. Well, there you go. So like I said, we'll have something to put on, hopefully a little short video of at least the bedroom. I don't know about we don't need the bathroom necessarily.
Yeah.
But, the bedroom that we'll post on our TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, cool. Oh yeah. Okay. How many times a year do you think you watch Nightmare Before Christmas? Roughly, because it sounds like it's probably a lot.
It can be a lot. I think it depends who's there watching with me, right? Like in our house right now, the TVs are in the living room and the bedroom. Mm-hmm. So if Brandon's with me, he doesn't want to watch it.
Right.
And I don't want to go lay in bed, during the day.
Right.
So I am proud to say I've only watched it twice so far this month.
Oh, wow.
This month.
It's
been like 2 weeks.
So that's like one a week. So
yeah. But then when you have people who want to watch it with you, we can watch it all the time.
Yeah, I bet. Several times.
It's one of those comfort movies. I can tell you all the words. I can say it, sing it with you. And so, when you're stressed, your anxiety's high, it's a good one to just put on and be like, okay, I know what's going to happen.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So this is another question that Adriana insisted I ask you. And I'm like, I can think I know your answer already, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It's the biggest debate on the movie, probably. And you probably already know what it is, especially because you have the iPad over there. But is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
I think very debated, right?
For
and
sure.
it could totally go with both, but I'm a firm believer that it is a Halloween movie.
Okay.
And even when it comes to my decorations, all my Halloween decorations are Nightmare for Halloween. And the Christmas ones, I try to stay away from.
Okay.
I try to make it Halloween-y.
Okay. That's actually not what I thought you were going to say.
No.
So,
well, I mean, if you look at the movie, the majority of it is Halloween.
yeah, that's
It
true.
talks about Christmas a lot.
Right. But it's
but
Jack
not
stealing
so
Christmas.
much. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Halloween. Final answer.
All right. I am putting that down as fact. Because like I said before, she is the biggest Nightmare Before Christmas fan that I know. So she would know. Okay, guys, she would know.
Well, you got to think Disney too. We don't
That's
celebrate
true.
Jack at Christmas. We celebrate Oogie Boogie Bash Halloween time.
That's true. Except
Oh, what?
the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland gets isn't it Christmas? It gets the Christmas overlay from Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's
Or
Halloween.
is it a Halloween?
It's Halloween.
I know nothing about Disneyland. I thought it was Christmas. Do they leave it up
Nope.
through Christmas, or am I just crazy?
No, well, I guess it's kind of through because they want tons of people to go.
Maybe it is.
But it's all Halloween themed at Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
But they keep it longer
Gotcha.
so more people can enjoy it because
Yeah.
it's a Halloween show.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've only been to Disneyland the one time, and it was nowhere near either holiday. So
With work, when our expo was at Disney,
it
was timed right, and I got to
Right.
go on the ride.
Excellent. And that's usually in January, right?
Yeah,
So it has to be kept up at least through January. So
Yeah.
there we go.
but it
All
was
right.
from Halloween.
So I was kind of right.
Because I was bummed. I was saying, oh my gosh, it's up still. I get to enjoy it. So there's got to be all these souvenirs still. Nope, they were out because they're Halloween souvenirs.
Makes sense. Okay. Right on. Well, this is the last question I have written down, but we got to figure out how to drag this out for another 15 minutes.
All right.
But my last question was, if you could change anything about the movie, what would it be? And I realize that's a pretty bold question, but
Okay, so I will tell you, since you just watched the movie, you know,
Yes.
after he gets shot down and he's in the graveyard doing his woe is me and he's singing
Right.
the Jack's lament, however you say
however
that
you wanna
word.
say it, yeah.
That's so boring in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm always like, okay, let's go get a snack. Like,
Right.
maybe because it's a slow song. And I'm like, I know he's got to have his epiphany moment of, oh, I can't steal this holiday. It's not mine. But
Right.
take that out.
Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching it, I was kind of with you on that. Like, I was kind of thinking, like, was this necessary? Like, couldn't you have had this epiphany somewhere else? And maybe, I mean, I guess it's a musical, so there has to be a song. But
It's boring.
yeah, it was a little bit slow paced right there. I also thought it was hilariously ironic that when he got shot down, he happened to land in a graveyard. That was part of that.
In
where I
an
was
angel's
like,
arms.
well, yes, of course. But I'm like, no, why would he land on somebody's roof? I mean, I guess maybe he fell on somebody's roof and rolled into the angel's arm.
He's
But
got to be where he feels at home.
exactly.
Where he belongs.
Yeah. Well, since that was my last question, I think I'll just kind of open it up a little bit. We can just discuss the movie, I guess.
Sure.
Cool. I guess I can. I don't know. I don't know how to go about this because I thought that was going to be enough. I should have written probably like 10 more questions, but that's okay. Let's
Are you
see.
going to go see it in theaters?
Is it in the Regal in town?
It should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Regal's
Maybe.
for the anniversary.
Solid. Oh, it's the anniversary. I didn't know that. What anniversary is this?
30th?
The 30th. Okay.
I'm not a numbers person.
That's fair.
I think it's the 30th.
I guess I could just Google it and find out, but I didn't realize that it was the anniversary. There's the Disney and their anniversaries, man. It's
I
something
know.
else. They're on 100 Disney's 100 Years of Wonder, and Epcot is celebrated its 40th anniversary. I think it's actually this year. Or was it last year? Now I'm questioning everything again, but
I just know the Disney 100.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas came out in 93. So yeah, that's 30 years, I think.
Yes.
Sounds close enough to 30 years. Cool. So, like a lot about characters, except the one question that we already know that we talked about this morning, that you don't know where Oogie came from or why he's there.
Oh, yes. So this morning on TikTok, because, how else do you waste your time?
Right.
They posed the question of how did Oogie get into Halloween Town, right?
Right.
Like, he's there. Clearly nobody likes him except Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Right.
So it's not like he just moved there randomly. Something went down between him and Jack, clearly.
Right.
Because he's always like, don't go to Oogie,
Oh,
So what
okay, yeah.
happened? I want a prequel. I want to know this drama.
I'm here for it too. I'm curious myself. I mean, like we talked about this morning, like at the end, he's like basically just a mini China. Like that's I'm assuming that Oogie is the bug that gets stomped right at the end, like.
Oh.
Or not right at the end, but like right
That's
near the end, he falls apart and the little green bug gets stomped. And I've always assumed that was Oogie, and he's just like used the other bugs to make him way bigger. I forgot where I was going with that though. I guess I don't know.
He's just a buggy dude.
He's just a buggy dude, I guess. Yeah, yeah. My thought process was that he got exiled because he was eating all of the spiders. I don't know. And maybe Jack loves the spiders. Evil. Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes you're just too evil that even in Halloween Town you get exiled.
Right? And it's one of those things where it's like you have all these weird questions that really don't matter, but you want to know. So it's like, I want a sequel. I want a prequel. I want to know this. But then we all know, okay, obviously this movie's hyped up in my head. So if you add anything on, it's going to suck.
Right.
Like, I bought the book, The Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. That's supposed to be like the sequel.
Oh, okay.
I bought it. On pre-order. I haven't even opened it yet because I'm like, I'm just going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think every fandom gets in that. Like, I don't remember when Star Wars came out, but like, I know when Star Wars came out, there was episodes 4, 5, and 6. And then everyone was like, well, what happened to Luke, Leia, and Han? And then George is like, I'm making 3 more movies. And everyone was like, let's go. And then it was the prequels.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what? And so like that fan base was hugely disappointed. I grew up on the prequels, right? And then Disney bought Star Wars and they're like, we're going to make the sequels. We're going to tell you what happens after episode 6. And I was like, oh, let's go. But then a bunch of people from my generation are now disappointed because we didn't get the story we wanted.
Exactly.
And that's the hard part with being a fan of anything is like, I want a story. So tell me the story. And then they tell you the story and you're like, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Because you get too critical and you have it played up in your head.
Exactly.
And it wrecks everything.
Especially with fan theories nowadays. And,
oh, yeah.
And then you're like, oh, well, that's not what they decided to do. Well, then they're wrong. Well, that's good. That camera's been going for 30 minutes, but I don't think we've been recording for that long just yet. We're almost there, but we're going to take a brief pause so I can get that rolling again. We'll be right back. I think I stopped at kind of an okay spot, so maybe we could just continue on. But yeah, I think my favorite character, and now that we're not interviewing, we could just talk now. My favorite characters were probably Shock, Lock, and Barrel, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And they all are children who have died, right? And from what I think, Shock was electrocuted and Barrel was drowned in a barrel. Or something like that.
Yeah, everybody has theories on how everybody died.
Okay, what was Locke's theory? Because like, Shock makes sense and Barrel makes sense, but like, did he get locked in a trunk? I don't know.
I hear different things. I've heard from being trapped, and I've heard choking. Choking.
Sure. Must have been playing with a Lego set.
Right?
Interesting. Cool. I don't even know where to go now, to be honest. Maybe it's not, I don't know. It's maybe not a bad thing for it to be a shorter one today. That could just be okay. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share on Nightmare Before Christmas? Anything you want to share with the public who might not like it as much as you that you could use to entice them?
Well, I would say first off, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. You'll get something out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, to convert people, I think even if like you don't like the storyline, just think of the art of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they put a lot of freaking details into that movie.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I mean, just the ground, for example. They die.
I said memory card full, but that doesn't make sense. It's a 120 gigabyte SD card. It shouldn't run out that fast. Oh, there was another thing that I was gonna say. Add on really quick, just to extend just a little bit longer. Was just the overall story arc. We can talk about the overall story arc of the movie because I kind of knew going into the watch last night that it was about Jack being unhappy with his life and trying to basically steal Christmas to give him something new and exciting to do.
Yep.
But I completely had forgotten about the fact that at the end he's like, oh my gosh, I am the Pumpkin King. Like, that is who I am, and I can make it.
Gotta stick to your roots.
Yeah, and so I thought I really liked the arc that I forgot about because I didn't remember how it ended.
Yeah.
But
and then he got a lady.
Yeah, and he got the lady. He finally opened his eyes to the woman who had been chasing him.
Yeah.
The whole movie, but like, God knows how long before that. And that actually reminded me of, it really put me in mind of Horton Hears a Who, or Seussical, which me and Lauren talked about on our podcast that's coming out tomorrow for us, but came out 2 weeks ago for you guys. But I played Horton in Seussical when I was a junior, I think. And it kind of is similar where he's like, oh, I need to protect this suspect because I'm just a sad, lonely person who's got nothing. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, there's this woman chasing him the whole time and basically doing the same thing where she's like, you need to let go of whatever you're trying to do and just be yourself.
Right.
And date me.
Well, I mean, when you live a monotonous life,
yeah,
you know, you just see, you're a Debbie Downer. You see the bad in everything. Exactly. And the boring, and you need those fresh new eyes.
Yeah. And that was part of what made me watching that movie and seeing that again. I was like, this is probably what's going to get me to watch Nightmare Before Christmas more, maybe not more frequently, but at least put it on my must-watch list for Halloween, is just to remember that for myself. Because sometimes I get in those boats too where I'm like, I'm kind of sad about my life right now. Right. And you're just like, I want to do something else. And sometimes you're like, well, maybe you just need to put everything back into it again, you know, go for it again. It's not bad to do things different, of course, but
exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta mix it up.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's about all I got for that. Maybe someday in the future we'll do like a full like retrospective review of Nightmare Before Christmas, but I don't know. I'm kind of planning to do that with some other movies, so maybe Nightmare gets a pass on it.
Just because it's new to you.
Right. But yeah, so with that being said, guys, this podcast, some of you guys are listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It is available on both platforms. There's also a YouTube video version available. You can find that on our YouTube channel, Noah Parker _channel on YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Noah Parker's World of Wonder, where we'll have that video of Kim's absurd collection. I'm actually really excited to see it because, like I said, Kim and I have known each other for years, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Some of my artwork in there comes from that scrumptious candy place in Longmont, Colorado, guys. There's some originals in there.
Okay. We'll try to get a sponsorship from them next. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Whatever platform you're listening on, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a rate or a like on it and share it with your friends, your family, coworkers. I am dragging my coworkers into my podcast so they'll be forced to watch it or listen to it later. So that's how you build a viewership, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel if you like watching the video versions, and follow the podcast if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And until next time, guys, let the wonder take hold.